Hey cruisers, welcome back. In today's video I am going to be giving you my impressions of Navigator of the Seas. Now that Royal Caribbean's back on the west coast, I took the opportunity to jump onto just a 3-day weekend cruise on board the Navigator just to see what Royal Caribbean is like. I used to sail Royal Caribbean all the time, and after a unfortunate incident back in 2014 I haven't sailed with them since. So I want to give them another shot. Actually, I have a group cruise on the Wonder of the Seas booked for October, so I thought this would be a good opportunity for me to dip my toes back into Royal Caribbean and just get an idea of what the ships are like today, because a lot has changed in the past 7 years. So the ship that I was on was the Navigator of the Seas. As you can see, Navigator is one of the older ships in the fleet, but it has recently come out of dry dock and had many of the current upgrades added to it. So that really made for a great aesthetic on board the ship. I really love what they did with the upgrades, especially out by the pool deck area. The Lime and Coconut is such a beautiful bar. The fact that it sprawls over 2 separate decks, I really like. And I have to say that overall, this ship felt very modern, very clean, and very fresh, which I was not expecting to see from such an old ship. There was one part though that I did feel a bit let down in that area, and that was as soon as you left any public area and you went back towards the cabins, there had been no upgrades, no refreshes, or anything done in the corridors and hallways. It's that awful salmon pink colour that Royal were so keen of back in the day 20 years ago, and I just gotta say it didn't feel very modern at that moment. It was like being transported back in time. The cabins themselves have had a refresh over the years as well. The carpet was old, I could tell. Also in the bathroom there were a lot of scratches and paint chips, but overall the room was reasonably comfortable. The bed, not so much. The bed was really hard and firm. I was not a fan of it. I found it quite difficult to sleep. The cabin I did a cabin review of already. I'll put a link up here for you so you can check that out. It was an aft view balcony cabin on the 6th deck, and the balcony itself was huge. It had a couple of sun loungers in there, as well as the standard 2 chairs and a table. Really big balcony, which was super impressive. I was really pleased to see that. The only downside I would say is that Royal Caribbean have this habit of making the back of their ships look nice to anyone not sailing. So if the ship's in passing, the ship looks great. It's got their logo up there. It looks beautiful. But the problem is when you're actually in one of those aft cabins, it does give you a very much an obstructed view, which most other cruise lines don't obstruct that view. They're typically some of the best cabins to have, but not so much on Royal. They tend to like the back of the ship to look attractive to other people. That was a bit disappointing. That being said, I saw some amazing sunset. I certainly made the most out of my view there, and again, it was a relatively comfortable cabin. No real complaints from me there. If you're enjoying this video, please give me a thumbs up. It tells me that you enjoy this kind of content, and if you want to see more videos from me, please do subscribe. Every subscriber really helps me to grow the channel. Some of the most recent upgrades that have been made to this ship include in the Promenade. I've never experienced the Royal Caribbean Tiki Bar before, so it was really exciting to get to see what that's all about, because who doesn't love a good tiki bar? The cocktails there were amazing, and they also have some bar snack food options for you to try. Great idea to line the stomach if you're wanting to try some of those cocktails, because they're pretty strong. Another addition since I last sailed Royal Caribbean is the Playmakers. Playmakers is a sports bar. Again, they have lots of food. I can see why this is becoming a fast fan favourite. It's got a really great atmosphere with activities for you to do, and a great menu of bar snacks and bar food for you to try. A couple of the old staples that I'm used to seeing from Royal are the Sorrento's Pizza and the Cafe Promenade. I must say though, I was quite pleasantly surprised to see that Cafe Promenade has even more options than it did 7 or 8 years ago, the last time I sailed on them, including some salad options, not just sandwiches and sweet treats. I already mentioned the Lime and the Coconut, really like that, but one of the newer features from Royal Caribbean is their Perfect Storm water park. The water slides on this one are pretty adventurous, including a water coaster. I did do the water coaster. It went a bit slow for me. I think it would be better with 2 people on board. I believe that you'll get a bit more momentum going with a couple of people instead of just traveling on your own. But it was good fun to try that. It does go out over the ship, and it's see-through in parts or transparent in parts, and it's a good for any thrill seeker out there. They do of course have the Flow Rider and the Rock Wall, some staples of Royal Caribbean, as well as plenty of pool areas to choose from. Now, Royal Caribbean are known for their entertainment. It's certainly one of the reasons that I always enjoyed travelling with Royal in the past, and one of the main reasons that I'm looking forward to travelling with Royal again in the future. Unfortunately, I did sail in January during the height of Omicron, and the entertainment team were significantly impacted by this. In fact, I believe that the entire headliner stage production team had to be off-boarded and quarantined, as one or more of them have contracted COVID-19. That meant that unfortunately the headliner show, Showgirls, was cancelled for the duration duration of our sailing. I was really looking forward to seeing that show, as I've heard nothing but positive reviews about it. I did say I'll be traveling with them again. I look forward to seeing it then. They did a good job of replacing the headliner show with some comedy acts. There was a ventriloquist comedian came on board. I did not go and see him on night one. He was scheduled to be on all 3 nights according to our daily planner. I instead opted to go and see the ice show, which I'll talk about in just a moment. I was going to go and see this ventriloquist on the second night, only to find that he too had been cancelled, and on the third and final night he was replaced by a comedy duo who I did go and see and were really entertaining and really fun. So I mentioned the ice shows. I love the ice shows, and I think it's the only cruise line in the entire industry that does ice shows. I really love the addition of the drones. That was really impressive to see the drones at the beginning. They really got great control over them and did a great show with the drones. My only piece of advice or my only feedback would be, I wish that they'd incorporated the drones into the actual ice show a bit more. They did have one moment where there was one drone and one ice skater interacting together to tell part of a story, but I feel like if you're going to bring the drones into the ice show, make it part of the ice show. It really just opened. It was like the opening act for the ice performers. As always, the ice performers are so fantastic. I can't say enough about them. If you've never seen one of Royal Caribbean's ice shows, you've got it. I highly recommend it. Go and see them. These are Olympic level skaters from around the world. They are so fantastic. It's so exciting to see them perform. There's some complex stunts out there. There's moments where you're holding your breath. You are just in awe of what they can do. They are truly fantastic, and I love any opportunity to go and see these ice shows. As I mentioned, I did travel at the height of Omicron, so things were kind of scaled back a little bit. Also, the ship was only sailing at 30% capacity. At times, it was a bit like a ghost ship. I couldn't really find anybody on board. So for that reason, some of the atmosphere was lacking on this. I 100% attribute that to COVID and not to Royal Caribbean themselves. So as I said, I am planning to take another cruise on board Navigator of the Seas. Now that they're back in the West Coast after over 10 years, I can't miss out on the opportunity to take another cruise on Navigator of the Seas over the next couple of months, now that numbers are starting to build back up again. So stay tuned for more footage from the Navigator of the Seas within the next couple of months. And I did mention I'm going on the Wonder of the Seas in October. That's going to be for the Mediterranean sailing. So I know that there are some itineraries out there now. I'm starting to see some of the YouTube videos, and believe me, I am watching them all because I'm so excited to sail this newest and largest ship in the world. But if you want to see some content from that, if there's anything in particular you would like me to talk about or review on the Wonder of the Seas or the Navigator of the Seas when I go back, please do let me know. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Happy cruising. We'll see you next time.